So recently I got to go to Las Vegas, one of my favorite places ever. I mean, it's just an adult playground with phenomenal food and extraordinary entertainment. And none other than Christina Aguilera is performing at Voltaire, which is this very sexy club. And I was lucky enough that we got to bring the show there and hang out with her and talk with her and just get into everything. And it was an extraordinary life experience that I'll never forget. And I'm so excited to share it with you guys now. So without further ado, let's do the viewing party. There was one moment where I saw you. We were at that place, the Post Ranch Inn.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And I watched you get in a car and be driven away. And I, of course, was like, I don't want to bother. So I go catatonic and pull my classic, and I just watched you pull away, and I was like, it would have been so nice to have said hello to her. Why didn't I have the courage to say hello? And then I'm like, it's not courage, it's not wanting to bother and just give someone peace.
No,
Especially,
I get that way too. I get really shy, and like, especially like the more you respect someone, you're like, I can't even like, make eye contact. Like, I'm the weirdest like nerd about that kind of thing too. But I did have the courage to get the nerve to go say hi to you one time. You like don't even.
Where was that? Because I heard
this was at the Ivy.
I love it.
And I was so green to LA. I was like a teenager, and I was like literally. I was just so green and starstruck to everything. And then there's Drew Barrymore like sitting at the next table. And you went to go to the bathroom, and I was like, this is my moment. And I went, and I told you, I was like, hi, I'm Christina, and I'm here, like, I'm such a big fan, and I'm here, like, recording my album for the first time, and, like, I just wanted to say hi to you, and blah, 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 and you were, like, the kindest celebrity I'd ever met. You were so warm and so kind to me, and I've never forgotten that about you. So thank you for doing that
I'm
for me.
so glad. Glad.
You were so kind.
That's how people are supposed to
They're supposed
behave,
to be.
you know?
But then we all have our walls, and we get guarded, and like, I think depending on what day or whatever, but it was just so kind of you to be just so warm, and you were like, well, good luck with that. So,
well, you know what? Now, Now
we know each other fully.
Now it's really official.
Yeah.
I was so excited to come here and talk to you. Since you burst onto the scene, I've just been cheering you on.
Oh, thank you.
And we're all growing up while we're doing this.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
So that's, for me, always fun to watch other people grow up too, because it's an interesting, experiment, if you will.
And to do it in front of cameras and scrutiny and all of that is just an extra layer of craziness. Yeah.
And now, speaking of empathic, I'm even more wildly shocked that every person is rowing in the same boat we were because of social media.
But are you saying in the sense of we didn't grow up with that?
We grew up in front of everybody. And now all young people are growing up in front of everybody with social media.
Yeah, I think it has its definite, craziness and disadvantages. There can be good that I try to pull from it, like, we have conversations that we can now have openly and share stories and tabloid stories that might have been such a big thing back when I was coming up before social media can be squashed within 5 seconds just with a post and telling it from your point of view and your narrative rather than having a magazine, an editor, make that call of what you were feeling, and pitting people against each other and things like that. So now I feel like it is more open space to do that. Some people use it as a disadvantage, I think, and of course you have your trolls and things like that. So, and especially if you're not equipped, you're a mother of young kids.
We both
and
have
so am I.
9-year-old daughters.
Oh wow, yours is 9 too. It's a tricky thing, yeah. And I'm so like, I'm kind of a helicopter mom. I'm so protective and I'll see like I'm so
protective.
I'm so protective. But she's also protective of me. It's very interesting.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Which I love. Maybe that's a part of your karma.
Yeah, she'll like come to my shows and she knows I get nervous before shows and she'll like take my hand just like she's so proud to. She like takes my hand. She's like, you're going to do great, Mama. You're going to do amazing. I just know. Like the little like supportive little mama bear to me, and then I'm like, you don't have to be this mama bear, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel that way to her, but we're very like kindred spirits. And my son too, who's now 15, teaches me so many things every day. He's highly intelligent and so smart, and he's very savvy about people, and he's very like, he'll read me in a second and like, I'm like, oh, we're like the same person in so many ways, which can make us sometimes, you know, just get into these really interesting intellectual like debates and arguments about why things are the way they are and what makes this artist better than this. Like, it's just very interesting.
Okay, who is he liking right now, artist-wise, out of curiosity? Because you mentioned artists.
He's a big hip-hop kid, actually. He likes a lot of things across the board, and I love that because like, our thing has been concerts. Like, I took him to Doja Cat, I took him to Travis Scott. So I've been able to take him to these concerts, and then on the way home we'll like blast music, like but it's a mixture of like him teaching me too. He'll do these play me these artists that are so not mainstream and whatnot, because like, actually my taste, we're always kind of off the grid and like, you know, interested in like what you don't hear every day and things that aren't so radio friendly. And he's just so that kid, so he's always teaching me about new music. Off the top of my head, I can't think of who they are, but it's things that, like, you know, you on your SoundCloud, or like, he's getting it from things that aren't even, you know, listed in Spotify or anything.
What are you teaching him musically?
You know, it's, you know, he's getting older, and he's very interested in music and fashion and how to make clothes.
They all love style. All the like the brands.
Yeah, I know. And the jewelry, the chain. Like, he's just like, I'm like, oh, so now all of a sudden he's going in my wardrobe and seeing all like my chrome hearts, and he's like, oh, this is sick, and like, you know what I mean? He's starting to appreciate, you know, what I've got, my sunnies and my, you know, and he's like, oh, that's a sick bag. I'm like, yes. Like, so it's.
And do you let him borrow it?
100%.
Okay, good. That makes me feel so much better because, you know, I feel like I have this weird thing happening where, like, my daughter's school and, you know, people I work with, it's like, you know, you shouldn't let your kids go in your closet and just grab everything. And I'm like, but that's one of the funnest. Okay, so
don't steal my chains and then not tell me.
Okay, so ask.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
no, you
good.
have to ask, because that's just manners and that's basic. You know, like,
how did you learn that?
Well, I just grew up poor and didn't have anything.
That's a way to learn.
Yeah, so like, I cherish everything, and that's the thing too. Is
and
my
you
kids,
teach him that.
Yeah, and
both of them.
I'm very honest with them about my surroundings and my, you know, I grew up on the road, traveling constantly. My dad was in the military and grew up on army bases, and you know, my kids. You know, I try to create such a safe space for them, because mine so wasn't safe coming up. And I've spoken very openly about this, but yeah, but I want them, how can you, you know, teach your kids, you know, how to be so grateful for something that you've been able to, but it's good.
How do you? Because that's my biggest thing.
You know, I tell them, and in an age-appropriate way, about just, you know, mommy's experiences, and I think it's a communication. You have to communicate with your kids and be able to be strong enough to have real talks with them. You know, even across the board, and there's certain age-appropriate ways to do that. If it's sexuality or genders or this and that, and you know, my kids are exposed to a plethora of so many different types of personalities, and you know, sexual preferences, and you know, politics, and so,
which I grew up that way too, in a very liberal way.
So we're just very free-spirited people anyway, I think.
My daughter wants to wear a crop top. I'll say no, and she'll go, you were on the cover of Playboy. And I'll go.
She's already read. I love that she said that, though.
Oh,
I know.
Of course.
Well, I knew it was coming the day I wore chaps, and I'm like, one day I know I'm going to be like, you know, because my daughter wants to wear a crop top too, and I'm just like, can we just pull it down? And, you know, like, I see myself doing that. But I think I always try to instill in her that, you know, certain people out there have good intentions and bad intentions. I think that's something.
Make it about other people. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I don't want to scare her in one way and be terrified of the world and that everybody's a bad person, because they're not. But also, you know, I think it's important for her to have a strong sense of self, but also to be very empowered with her body, and eventually will be her sexuality. So I want her to just really know herself first. And that's, you know, kind of musically also, even when you take it back to Chaps or even you on Playboy, like we were expressing ourselves and how we felt was best for us, I think at the time. And
I loved every minute of it.
We didn't do it for someone else or
no.
And then there's so many like labels and judgments saying like, oh, you're doing it for a guy. No, you're making it about that narrative in your own head. That has nothing to do. Like it's empowering, like being a female and embracing your body and everything that makes you, you know, feel good or womanly, like however that is for yourself, to be able to embrace that.
What about this? I walk in this room and it is, first of all, it's, and I ask you advice too, because like I'll be 49 this month and I'm really
amazing. I love your outfit today too. You're so like sparkly. I know. I love the earrings.
Wait, no, this is the best part.
Hot.
Get ready for this.
Oh, hey. Well,
why?
It looks intentional.
Why?
I mean, we're in the setting.
Christina, why?
Own it. Own it. Nobody was looking at that. What do you mean?
Of course, I'm like,
I
wore it for you.
Self-deprecating. No.
Fly open. Of course, that's perfect. Perfect.
I love that.
I walk in here and I'm like, this is so sexy, so intimate. You know, Voltaire.
Yeah, it's really special. I've never done anything like this before, which was the draw for me. I don't spend a lot of time in Vegas. I'm not really that person. But the draw was creating a show specifically around almost like a movie set.
And it's intimate.
Yes, yes.
You play huge stadiums. This is so, to get to see you in this way is.
But they're in those, you know, huge venues and spaces that I'm, you know, normally used to performing. I don't actually get to exercise certain material. Like the other day, it was like late at night and I couldn't sleep. I was like, and I had like a couple glasses of wine. I was like, babe, you know, I've never watched the full movie of Burlesque to myself, because there's a couple songs that I incorporate in, but I could never do in like a huge capacity because they call for, again, this movie-like intimate setting. I walk through the audience acting out this whole like character in some of these songs that I don't really get to be so performative in this way.
You can connect in a different,
there's
size
songs.
matters, like in a room. You know?
Yeah, well, size does matter.
The smaller the room, actually, the better the intimacy
and it's
that way.
100%. And I think fans are loving it and loving the experience of coming this close and personal. I take specific selfies, like, while going through the audience. Like, it's just a fun, vampy, you know, it is sexy. People keep saying, too, like, oh, look, some more sexy show. I'm like, not really. But then I, like, realize, like, who I am, like, as far as just feeling so comfortable, like, you know, playing up the coy, vampy, sexy
What's
thing.
good advice, whether it's me or anyone, to feel empowered and sexy, knowing we're on the sidelines, our daughters are pumping us up, we pump ourselves up, sure, but advice on how to get yourself there.
I mean, for me, it can be, you know, music always helps.
What are we listening to? Anything?
It's across the board. It's like, are we into, you know, a little more raunchy? Or we want to go more light and seductive? I mean, there's always like classic, moody, you know, Portishead or like Massive Attack and that are just like classic. They'll never go away, that like sexy mood and all of that. So just like putting that on, glass of wine. But you know, you don't.
Speaking of, actually, okay, I'm so. First of all, bravo on the packaging.
Thank you.
And I don't know what it is about girls and packaging, but if it's a cliche, I'm a cliche.
We need pretty cute things.
It matters.
Yes.
I am so obsessed with the packaging. I've gone on the website. I did all my research. I scoured.
Isn't it pretty?
No,
I love the
it.
product and the bottle itself too.
And now that, well, now that I'm actually in the mood, tell me everything.
Yes. Playground is something that just goes along with every message that I've always been about: owning your body, owning your sexuality, opening conversation where, women are always on some level shamed or labeled or scrutinized or judged for being comfortable and owning their bodies on some level. If you're not comfortable with your body or whatever it is, or you don't dress provocatively enough, you're a prude. And if you do go there and you show skin and you're comfortable with your body, you're labeled which now women are kind of owning, and this is embracing your sexuality. And so I wanted to make something that truly was safe, organic, all natural.
Date night.
Yes, date night. It's a lube. It's for all stages of your life as a woman. How pretty! Like it fits. It fits in the palm of your hand.
Oh yes,
it's so
it does.
And like just sexy. We like to call it your bedside best friend.
First of all, Playground, brilliant name.
Yeah.
Because it has a wink
Thank you.
and permission. So. You are such a good mom, and I'll tell you why. Because to encourage sane, strong, empowered, healthy body image and sense of self is something that is so powerful. Hearing you say this is exactly what I need to hear.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet.
It's so true. It's so true.
Well, you have to, I want my daughter to have a good sense of self and understanding of her own body. And I want to take the shame out of how women are supposed to feel about their own bodies. And so many times we're, seen as like vessels to please other people. How we choose to, speak about our bodies and own our sexuality. It's like, oh yeah, they're doing that to flirt or whatever it is. Like, no, I want to feel good about myself. And I think that, look, this is the epicenter of everything. It's the beginning of life, and it should be treated with care and priority. And so I just wanted to make something that women could go to the drugstore or your store, and I want to make sexual wellness is the main goal, as natural as all the beauty products that we're inundated with out there.
Coming from you, I want in. I buy in.
Oh my God, you guys, that was so much fun. And again, she has this new sexual wellness line called Playground. And so you can get her products at helloplayground.com. And they're also available at Nordstrom's and Urban Outfitters. So check them out. And if you're in Vegas or happen to be going there, do not miss her show at the Venetian Hotel in the Voltaire Theater. It's really something else, as is she. So thank you so much for coming to the viewing party, everybody. We make this show for you, so take it with you. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm so excited to be with everybody right now because I have something so exciting to share, because I recently sat down with the multiple-time Grammy winner and singer and songwriter, the icon, the diva, the one and only Christina Aguilera. We get to go hang out with her, so let's go to Vegas right now and hang out with her.
I was just recently at the Grammys, and everyone is freaking out. They're saying, by the way, congratulations, 25 years, Genie in a Bottle anniversary.
Thank you. It's crazy. I know.
Everyone's saying the dress you wore, Grammys, it's like all over, Genie in a Bottle reference. Did you think of that? Did it hit you at all? Was it subconscious? Or was that a surprise to you that was everybody's reaction?
I would love to say that I'm that calculated and micromanage, the marketing strategies of things. So like that, but I'm not that kind of but now that it's been out there and they've said it, now I might play into it, but it's very sweet. I see like them doing like a little side by side too, and it's like, oh, that's like what a sweet turnaround of events 25 years later to be in this position to be able to celebrate and have these fans that are recognizing like, oh, this is a tease to that. But there will be big surprises and fun things to come to celebrate the 25th anniversary and just how much the fans have just been so ride or die for me for so long, and welcoming new fans, and it's such a blessing to be able to do this and to be able to sing and share your life with people that just, you're a part of their story.
25 years ago, did you think that you would have the peace and the wisdom and the confidence that you have today?
You're still figuring out your peace and your confidence every day, right?
25 years ago, I did not think that I would be this okay.
I could only hope, you know.
By the way, 25 years ago, I was having a hell of a lot more fun, a different kind of fun.
Yeah,
but
I did too, but I just wouldn't want that for now.
Never. I don't want to go back for anything.
Yeah, I'm glad I lived it. I did it.
Me too.
You know, we had I had my messy moments. I had my great moments, but I'm just glad I lived. You know what I mean? I lived it. You know, I wasn't always perfect for camera, or like made it a point to be, just, everybody wants you to kind of be a little plasticky or robotic. And like, I'm glad that it was like, if I had to eat the backlash for the chaps, or I had to, go like, at least I lived, and I did it. And sometimes you get things out of your system. So you're like, you can make room for the peaceful chapters in your life, and being able to just feel so rewarded with your children and seeing things through them and wanting things done for them. But you're right. It is like a place of feeling full circle, and we're always daily still trying to figure it out and how to be the best parent representation you can. But, I think it's a balance of both. I love going home to my babies and like cuddling and snuggling and watching a Disney movie and all of that, but I wouldn't be able to feel super fulfilled if I didn't have the juxtaposition of this. And my kids love it too, that I can feel that they're proud. And
we are on the same frequency. Whatever channel you're on, I am on that station. And I have had the best time traveling the stations and playing all the vibes and the musics and the sounds and the moods and all of it. And I too want to get to the peace. Yeah. And that's what I fight for now.
It's a fight sometimes.
Oh my God.
Fight for
clawing
peace.
my
Fight
way sometimes. Yeah. So thank you for recognizing it. That encourages me to keep going on and being safe. I have a couple fun questions. Can I ask them to you? I have a couple fun questions. Can I ask them to you? Because I like to flow and see where we go and just kind of fly the plane around. I'm a little weird pilot. I'm like, okay, we'll be taking off now. But these are the final 5 questions. It's my favorite game, and we have an After Dark edition.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I like it. Yes,
this is the final 5 After Dark with Christina Aguilera. Okay. Number 1, have you ever nicknamed your lady parts?
I mean, maybe, I don't, let me, I need time to think about these.
You want to go back to that one?
Yeah, let's get back to that. Let me think about it.
Number 2, are you a member of the Mile High Club?
Yes.
Me too!
Multiple times.
By the way,
you have to be,
it feels different.
We spend a lot of time on planes. We got to figure it out. Like,
doesn't it feel wild? It's not the same. If you're curious, like, why are people doing it? I'm telling you, elevation.
Yeah.
It feels different. Mm-hmm. I can't recommend it more. Sorry, FAA.
Got to figure out ways to sneak in the fun
and
bring some playground in there.
I'm telling you, I was like,
for those
whoa!
long plane rides.
Yeah, exactly. Number 3, one song that best describes your sex life.
One song. Oh, that's really hard. It depends on what mood you're in.
I know.
Are you into are we in the mood to be like gentle and romantic? There's 2 different, or are we doing both? I don't know. Maybe it's a playlist.
I don't know why this just came to my mind for like the second. I remember thinking that Muse album was really hot.
Yeah.
The Strokes. Those albums are.
I mean, there's so many different.
Although
things.
I dated Fabi from the Strokes, so that was sort of.
You're like, that sounds weird.
We didn't do that. We should have done that. I like to make a mixtape for the occasion.
For sure.
And you're right, it's very eclectic.
It is very eclectic. I guess most recently I thought 07 O'Shea, have you heard of her? She's just like, makes really sexy, like really like ambient fun. Like it's a vibe. It's a vibe. But I like a vibe.
Can I get the name so I can put her on the playlist for my future sex life that I'll be re-embarking on? Number 4, what's one thing that always gets you in the mood?
You know, I have a weakness if anyone like my neck. If anyone like breathes the right way around my neck or like kisses on the neck, I'm a sucker. Like I will melt. Like it's like immediate turn on. Yes.
Do you know what is my favorite thing? Every time I see it, usually in like a Pride and Prejudice movie or something. It's this. When a man does this. Where's the memo to all men to just put the hands
like cradle
when they like
face.
reach in and their fingers go through your hair and you're cupping. I'm like,
I like a man that can take control for sure. Like you know, make me feel safe, but make me feel like take over.
Is there? Is there a historical figure that you would get dirty with?
You know who I always thought, and I'm such a diehard fan of eternally, Selma Hayek played her in a movie, Frida Kahlo. She was like a political activist,
of course,
artist. She had the best style. Her life was just so fascinating to me, and she knew how to like get down and have fun. She'd go to the bar and like let her hair down and sing with the bands and like she seemed like she knew how to get dirty. So she knew how to have a good time, and I love that.
They do flower arranging classes at her house in Mexico City that you can take. So maybe we could go to Frida Kahlo's house and take a flower class.
That would be amazing.
And ironically, that is what I've nicknamed my lady part is my flower.
Oh, I love that. So. I thought you were going to say your lady part was Frida. I was like, oh. I was like, wow, girl, you're a fan too.
Those are my fun questions. And
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was so wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh.